it must be emphasized that we have arrived at this juncture because of what the Constitution says and not necessarily what the President believes.
The committee that was set up, the members came to the Jubilee House today. The presumption is that it was their visit that necessitated this announcement. Can you talk to us about what the committee said?
Well, the committee recommended the removal of the Chief Justice. That is all I can say. Because as you are fully aware, Article 146 also does not permit disclosure of the proceedings of the committee. But that the Chief Justice has been written to by the President through his secretary, and the basis upon which the committee arrived at the decision has been communicated clearly to her. A warrant, as prescribed once again by Article 146, was also issued to accompany the letter. So she has been made aware of the removal and the basis for it. But I am not permitted by law to make any disclosures beyond the fact that the President has complied with the recommendations of the committee.
Which means that Jubilee House will not tell the public the reasons for her removal, except to say that the committee said she should be removed.
Jubilee House cannot breach the Constitution of Ghana, which bars us from discussing details surrounding this entire proceeding.
However, the expedited nature of the process is curious, isn't it? That 3 hours or so ago, the committee members came to the President to brief him and deliver to him a sealed envelope. Few hours later, you have said that a letter has been written to her and all the processes that are required before the announcement will be made have been done. It looks a bit expedited, isn't it?
Well, I'm not sure about expedition. The point is that the committee presented a report. Several hours passed before a statement was issued. You see, the President cannot take a position either in favor of or against the recommendation of the committee. So what the President needs to acquaint himself with is the recommendation, whether or not the Chief Justice should be removed or maintained in office. And once it is clearly written in black and white in the report presented that that is the recommendation of the committee, action must be taken to fulfill that, requirement. And that is what has been done. I mean, it doesn't take forever to draft a letter informing the Chief Justice about this. It doesn't take forever to prepare a warrant. And it doesn't take forever to put out a 3-paragraph statement that I have done, announcing to the people of Ghana that this is the decision the President has taken based on the recommendations, based on the action, I beg your pardon, the President has taken based on the recommendations of the committee. So there's really no issue of expedited action or the lack of it. This
is a big issue. I spoke to Joseph Menka, he was Deputy Attorney General. He says that from where he sits or he sat, he's noticed that the Constitution was respected, all the procedure was properly followed, except that he says you can also use the Constitution for your own mischief, and he believes floodgates for future Chief Justices to be removed. What's your comment on that?
First of all, how can upholding the Constitution of Ghana be referred to as mischievous? In other words, our Constitution is designed to carry out mischievous ends. This law has always been there. In fact, two aspects of the law were used by Mr. Kwenka's government when he served as Deputy Attorney General to remove the chairperson of the Electoral Commission. At the time, Mr. Kwenka was nowhere to be found regarding the statements he's making today. No, we cannot hate pork and eat pork soup tomorrow. We either drink deep or we taste not. We are a constitutional democracy. That then means that provisions of the Constitution must be respected. Now, we cannot choose and pick as and when we accept the carrying out of provisions of the Constitution based on where we stand on the political divide or what our particular interest is in a particular case. We also cannot begin to implement a sacred cow philosophy, I beg your pardon, in Ghana, where depending on the weight or magnitude of an individual involved in a particular case, we refuse to stick to constitutional injunctions. I don't think that we can get to that point. If we believe that we are a constitutional democracy, then we must act as such. And in this instance, that is exactly what has happened.
They say that you have set a bad precedent and that as a party you have promised to remove the Chief Justice and you have carried that out. How do you respond to that?
I would like to hear about the promise that is under reference. Do you know of anybody President Mahama, myself, or any other person in decision-making position who made such a promise. And indeed, how could such a promise have been made? No such promise was made. The other issue too is that when people speak about setting a bad precedent, I do not know what they are talking about. It is being suggested that adhering to the Constitution to carry out a process which is prescribed by that Constitution itself sets a bad precedent. Indeed, what would be a bad precedent is to fail to act simply because of the weight of the individual in question. If you violate Ghanaian law, if I violate Ghanaian law, you should be dealt with according to that law. But the moment you begin to see that Umaru is such a big, huge personality in Ghana, that despite evidence of wrongdoing, and despite the availability of clearly defined provisions in the Constitution to address that matter, we will not act. The day we do that, that is when we would have set a bad precedent. So to be honest with you, I fail to grasp the point of those who refer to what exactly is a bad precedent. And mostly this has come from opponents of this government. The same people who applied the Constitution to remove the head of an independent body, the Electoral Commission, in 2018 or so. How then do they suddenly turn around and oppose the use of that same provision of the Constitution to carry out this exercise as prescribed by the Constitution?
Finally, as one of 3 petitions that was that had work done and reports presented today, what happens to the remaining 2? Have they effectively become moot and the committee will stop work, or the committee will go back and work on the other 2?
Well, that is within the bosom of the committee, as Justice Waman explained this morning when he made some brief remarks upon presentation of the report to the President. It was the parties involved in the adjudication themselves who requested an adjournment of those 2 cases. The committee was prepared and ready to go into those matters, but the parties made representations before them that they adjourned it. However, no such request was forthcoming in respect of the petition presented by Mr. Daniel Ofori. So on the basis of the work that the committee did on Mr. Daniel Ofori's petition, that this report was submitted and the recommendations contained in the made, upon which the President has taken this particular action.
Very well, thank you so much.
It is up to the committee to determine whether they carry on with the work of looking into the 2 other petitions or they bring it to an end at this stage.
You heard Minister for Government Communications Felix Kwache Ofosu. Meanwhile, former Deputy Attorney General Joseph Pimka has strongly criticized the removal of Chief Justice Gertrude Tokonu, warning that the decision sets a dangerous precedent for Ghana's democracy.
My initial reactions are very straight to the point, and I've anticipated this from the one. I've said it on your platform, I've said it on other platforms, that the way things were going, this is where we're going to hit. And we have hit them. I'm not surprised at all at what has happened, because from the one when the complaints were made and the way issues were handled, some of us foresaw that it was over. And indeed it is over. And we realize that in the communications, His Excellency the President is saying that he's just a conveyor belt. He is mandated by law to go strictly in accord with the recommendations of the committee. And he says that the recommendations of the committee, among others, are that the Chief Justice will be removed, and that he has self-steamed and he has conveyed it to the public. That's all. That's all that he has carried out his mandate constitutionally. And as I've indicated, quite a number of experts in the field and a number of us had spoken to this issue, and we said that from the way things were going, from the very beginning, when the petitions were submitted, the process was triggered and etc., we knew that this is where we were going to land. It's not surprising at all.
The conveyor belt part was a very popular refrain during the removal of Charlotte Osei and several other attempts at removing persons who occupy positions that have to go through the process that they went through. Having followed the proceedings and observed everything, and having listened to the presidency say that the president was simply a conveyor belt, would you say anything unconstitutional was done? Would you say that the president has clean hands in this matter?
Well, that I leave it to the conscience of the office of the president and Ghanaians as a whole. I leave it to our conscience. All I can say is that I have said it, and I repeat this afternoon, that my position has been that you can give fidelity to the Constitution and yet be mischievous in the application to achieve a certain desired result. I've said it. And everything I said, everything I predicted has actually come to pass. Because you see, fidelity to the Constitution means following through the dictates, A, B, C, D. If the Constitution says so, you follow it. But in the course of doing it, you can mischievously and out of trying to reach a certain result, follow the process, but even though you're serving the ends of justice, you're following the constitutional process, but you create mischief in the process in order to achieve a desired result. And perfectly so, it's been well orchestrated and well executed.
But the principle of natural justice is something that is very important in law, hearing the other side and giving them an opportunity to be heard. For many people, considering that that very key and fundamental principle has not been breached, the government cannot be blamed per se, and that, quote and unquote, the law has become the law and the will of the law has been done. Would you say, based on the fair hearing principle of order altering pattern and the procedure that we have all seen, this process has been fair, even though you suspect there may be mischief in there, but it has been fair?
No, I said that as for complying with the provisions of Article 146, nobody can fault that at all. It's been complied with. In fact, from the beginning, the receipt of the petitions and then the determination of prima facie and the formation of the committee and inaugurating same and then commencing work and etc. all have been strictly complied with. I have said so. And I have indicated that, however, if you look at the history, right from the time of campaigns through to the elections were over and the swearing of the president, it looks like it was well cut out that the Chief Justice will be removed from office. But I've said this, Omaru, I've said this time and again, look at these two other situations. If you want to remove His Excellency the President, you need 2/3 of members of Parliament to impeach him, which is a near impossibility from our history from 92 until maybe recently that the NDC has gotten this particular majority. If you also, number two, if you want to remove the Speaker of Parliament, you need 2/3 of members of Parliament to do so. But the Chief Justice, all you need is to trigger a process by filing petitions. The President receives it, and then it is by the decision of the Supreme Court, it is handed to the Council of State to make a prima facie determination. Once that is done, it is sent to the President, and he puts together a committee who will then look into the matter. And that is exactly what has been followed through in this particular situation. But I've said that right from day one, the idea had been that when the NDC will power, the Chief Justice will be removed from office, and that has been done.
There is a view that this may start a precedent where in the future a new president from a different political party may remove the Chief Justice who they come to meet. In the past, Atta Mills came through, met Georgina Wood, and worked with her. Before then, Kufuor came to office and met the CG appointed by President Rawlings and worked with him. Mahama, when he took over, continued. Nana Addo Akufo-Addo, when he also came, met a Chief Justice, continued with that Chief Justice, but removed the EC chairperson. And many say that was when the precedent was set, and not necessarily the removal of the Chief Justice today. Do you foresee in the future Chief Justices and maybe EC officers becoming political footballs?
That's what I see, and you don't need to pretend about it. That's what I see actually coming and happening. You see, when people make the mistake of comparing the removal of the Electoral Commission boss to that of the CJ, it's most unfortunate. The Electoral Commission board does not head one of the three arms of government, and that equalization is much ado about nothing. I think that those who do such things are deliberately creating mischief to justify whatever evil intent they may have. Because, you see, if, for example, you begin to compare the removal of the Chief Justice to the removal of the EC chair, then you are saying that those two offices, you are putting them apart. But that cannot be, and that should not be. So, again, you have rightly pointed out, and I am telling you, God giving us long life and putting the nation together, it will be repeated. When a president from a different political party comes up in future, there will definitely be a process filed. However frivolous it is, Council of State will determine that there's a prima facie case. The president will then go ahead and form a committee. The committee will bring the recommendations. The Chief Justice will be removed. That is the danger.
So to prevent this, go to the Constitution, amend it, make it stricter. That is your position.
That is my position.
Very well.
If we don't, Umaru, what has happened today will be the beginning of the death of our democracy.
So that's Joseph Kpenka. He is a former Deputy Attorney General, served as Deputy AG between 2017 and 2021 in the first term of the Akufo-Addo administration. Before then, you had Minister of State in charge of Government Communication, Felix Kwatri, who made the announcement of the removal of Gertrude Saba Tokono as Chief Justice, which removal happened pursuant to Article 1469 of the 1992 Constitution. A recommendation was brought to his office earlier today by the Justice Puaman Committee, which recommended the removal of the Chief Justice, and she has since been removed after communicating to her. We have still some reactions coming on this particular issue after this break. Please stay with us.
Detailed news, unparalleled coverage. Citi News on 97.3 FM.
This year is going to be sweet. I don't just feel it, I know it, because the Luckiest Season 3 is back.
And I'm about to show you how to grab your golden ticket. Just dial *712# and follow the prompts to purchase your ticket. Or go to theluckiestafrica.com, hit community tickets, and pick your lucky number.
And let the system do its magic. Choose how much you want to spend from 1 to 5,000 Ghana cedis. You can even buy a ticket for someone else. Be someone's hero. Payment? Easy. Mobile money in Ghana or card if you're international.
One ticket can turn 1 CD into 500 times more. That's much we love. Or your community.
One shouts it. Ever since I started using the all-new Excellium Premium Fuel, fortified with 3-in-1 action. Oh, Joe, now my car they run like electric car. No, so
This is the type of fuel where they want to. Because now engine they cook. Where they want for way if I buy it, it will protect my engine. And with the small way I buy, I go drive
absolutely. It's like strapping a turbocharger to your engine and giving it a protector. And what it does my mind says, be the 3-in-1 action, no? Excellium they prevent up to 99% of deposit. It be anti-wear, some be anti-corrosion. So
where can I find this magical fuel?
Just head over to any Total Energy service station and your car will thank you.
Hey, they make a finish Magobe fast, then rush go Total Energies. My friend, but why you have the Magobe inside?
I give you info. Make a feel the gobe too small.
Go!
Excellium is designed to protect your car engine, decrease fuel consumption, and lower CO2 emissions. Don't say fuel, say Excellium. Choose Excellium, choose quality.
If you know these sounds, you didn't just live through the 90s. You lived the experience. Back then, connection took minutes. Today, it takes a blink. You express yourself with memes. You hold video calls across continents. You say hey to an AI who responds,
"Hello, Kwame."
You order rides, dinner, and dreams all from the palm of your hand. A lot has changed, so have we. For over 3 decades, EcoBank has evolved with you, leading digital banking in Ghana and across 33 African countries, pioneering solutions built around how you live, move, and dream today. From our Express Points to EcoBank Pay, online banking and the mobile app, we are where you are. Here for today, ready for tomorrow. Now, that's change. Powered by EcoBank. EcoBank, a better way to bank your way. EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank.
The journey never stops. The game never stops. The productivity never stops. The music never stops. At
G&J, we keep your world powered with reliable generators, solar energy, and UPS solutions, so the power never stops. Your go-to for total energy solutions, making sure you work, thrive, and live life uninterrupted. Visit our website, gjtechghana.com, or call us on 0302 689 178 or 179 or 0202 222 220. G&J, your energy partner.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Yeah, welcome back. This Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. The Chief Justice has been removed from office. Gertrude Tokonu is no more the Chief Justice based on communication sent to her earlier today by the presidency, which communication came after a recommendation was made by a special committee set up to investigate allegations made against her. The government side has insisted that it has been working strictly to the dictates of the Constitution. The opposition has been saying it was a promise that was made, which promise has been fulfilled. But the issues have to be considered. Let's speak to Nana Eje Bafo. He is NPP Member of Parliament for Minsha South in the Ashanti region. He's joined us on the line. Honorable, you're welcome to Eyewitness News.
Thank you very much, my brother. How are you?
I'm well. What's your reaction, first of all, to the announcement of the removal?
It's just an announcement of what was preconceived while the NDC was in opposition. The outcome was predetermined. I mean, everybody in this country, what was the popular refrain was that after the Chief Justice, that was the popular refrain. Everybody knew this. And so what has happened today is just merely the birth of what was preconceived when the NDC was in opposition.
But even if you make a promise and you come in and you go through the dictates of the law, you cannot be said to have had any motive or forethought, because they went through the process and they see that the president was simply a conveyor belt. And if a committee has been set up and the committee said that she was wrong in what she did, so be it. No,
my brother, when you write down your answer before you set down your question, that is what happened. There was an answer before the questions were set. Look, very respectfully, my brother, all of us, we sat in the same classroom. You went to school, I also went to school, all of us. And so we need to respect each other. Let's accord ourselves some degree of respect. I respect your intellect. Respect my intellect. I respect the intellect of those who are in government today. We should all respect our individual intellect. Okay? And credit us with some degree of discernment. Okay? Everybody in this country knew that this is where we are going to arrive. This is where we are there. And so I have said on other platforms that because this is predetermined, we knew it ahead of time. Let's move on. Let's move on and call on the government to address issues such as galamsey, which is destroying our environment and putting our lives at risk. Let's move on and call on the government to ensure that the 2 million people, the 2 million Ghanaians, which in the state of the address, in the present state of the nation's address is stated were unemployed. Let's move on to ensure that they are given employment. Let's move on to ensure that the escalated tribal and ethnic conflict that we face in this country, they are resolved. When you look at the ethnic conflict, they were fanned by the NDC when they were in opposition.
Sorry, did you say they were fanned?
Of course, my brother.
How? Which of the ethnic conflicts?
My brother, we all know what the comments that were made regarding the Boko conflict. We all know.
No, but I see, Honorable. If you say that the people in government now are the one who fund the ethnic conflict, that's a very serious issue to make, considering that you know how volatile the situation in Boko is. So maybe you would want to use
very respectfully, my brother, very respectfully.
Yes.
Let's not play the ostrich.
No, but fanning is almost like fanning is like no. You see, because it's a volatile issue, it's not something I'm going to encourage you to proceed any further. Because if you say they fund, you are essentially saying they abetted, and you know the elements of abatement.
My brother, please. You see, this is what we do. That we don't ever find solutions to any problem in this country. We are too diplomatic about things.
Let's reroute and speak about the CJ who has been removed. I think let's pretend that issue.
Let us move on.
But in moving on, honorable, before you move on, would you, and I'm going to ask you the same question I asked your other colleague earlier, would you admit that the due process was followed and that she has been heard and
under the guise of due process, the Chief Justice has been chopped out of her office?
What would have been due process? If this is a semblance, what would have been the real and true due process? If not what we
have debated all this. But it was obvious. Look, the Chief Justice went to the Human Rights Court, and the Human Rights Court told her that it doesn't have jurisdiction. My brother, it's the most pathetic thing I've heard in this country, that the Human Rights Court says that it doesn't have jurisdiction in a human rights matter. When the Chief Justice was complaining of infringement of her human rights, my brother, and we are here talking about due process. It was a predetermined, well-orchestrated.
But how did the court rule when she went there? Did the court grant?
The court said, the Human Rights Court said it doesn't have jurisdiction.
What does that mean? What's the overall effect of that?
The court says that it doesn't have power to go into the matter. When under the Constitution, the Human Rights Court first and foremost is the High Court. It's a High Court. The High Court is over all matters. When secondly, under Article 33(1) of the Constitution, in addition to all other avenues, human rights matters, the High Court has jurisdiction over it. My brother, the Chief Justice went to the Human Rights Court, saying that the proceedings that were taking place, the proceedings, right, infringed on aspects of her human rights. The Human Rights Court refused to even go into the matter, but went on to say that it doesn't have jurisdiction. The Chief Justice, very, very interestingly, in the matter pending before the Supreme Court, filed a supplementary affidavit. In the supplementary affidavit, the Supreme Court struck it out and said that it was unconstitutional. My brother, what else? What other conclusion can we come to in the circumstance? You see, you cannot isolate the Article 146 proceedings and say that due process was followed. Due process is not just Article 146 proceedings. Due process entails the other provisions of the Constitution, to which, right, the Chief Justice may have succor. In this instance, look, she was blocked. The woman didn't get justice in this matter. If you have grievances, and the court says that it doesn't have jurisdiction, where else can you go to? So, my brother, this is it's a charade, a complete charade. Look, what has happened is a very serious matter, and I am only praying to the Almighty God that a future president may have a bigger heart, right? Will be very reconciliatory, and not be vindictive, right? Will not listen to people, right, in his party and pursue a similar agenda. Otherwise, you are going nowhere with our democracy. That is not how a country is governed.
Okay.
When you are a leader, you should have a bigger heart.
How do you respond to when this issue is put back to you and you are reminded that another head of a constitutional independent body was removed under similar processes when your party was in power under President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo? How different was that process from this process?
The difference is that President John Mahama promised the people of Ghana a reset. And which the reset was meant an eye for an eye, a tool for a tool. Assuming that President Akufo-Addo was wrong, should we go on this tangent? When a future president comes into office, right, and decides to go on this tangent, I'm sure that you are going to put to an ABC person that you may be interviewing. How do you respond to some people who would say that President Mahama did the same? I'm sure I'm going to put that question to that person. At the end of the day, who is going to suffer? You and I. The politician won't suffer. You and I are the ones who will suffer, because the destruction of a democracy is not an event. It's a process. It is the small things that we do that will lead to its destruction. My brother, let this end. We can't continue like that.
Do you think, sir, that it was wrong for Charlotte Osei to have been removed under Akufo-Addo's government in the manner she was removed?
I would not respond to Charlotte Osei.
No, don't respond to Charlotte Osei. I want you to respond to the process leading up to the removal.
Charlotte Osei has been discussed.
No, I wanted your view now.
I'm saying that my view is academic. As my view today is also academic.
So it means that you don't agree with the removal.
No, like the Apostle John in the good books, I am sounding a caution that if we are going to go on this tangent, then the people that fought for our democracy in 1992, they would have toiled in vain.
But the question remains. So because you've referenced what happened and you're saying that even if it was wrong, I want to know, do you think it was wrong that Charlotte Osei was removed?
I didn't reference it. You asked me.
Yes, but in your answer,
I answered you
using the if.
I answered you by saying that.
The if.
No, I'm saying that. Assuming it was even wrong.
Good. So that's why I want you to halt and say. I don't want to assume. Do you think it was wrong?
My brother, I am saying that let's look into the future. If I tell you it is right,
but the history guides us into the future, don't you think?
We have, and the future is going to be guided by what has happened today
and yesterday.
Are you happy? And yesterday, are you happy with the future you are walking into? I am not happy.
Are you happy with the yesterday?
I am not happy. I am not happy with the history. Right?
Which means you think that it was wrong, the history that has already been said before today?
You can come to your conclusion.
No, I wanted to hear from you.
I am saying that, look, I don't want to go on the tangent very respectfully of an eye for an eye, which has characterized our politics all this while.
Okay.
The beneficiaries of that system, right, are not you and I. Let me tell you something, my brother.
With hindsight,
wait, my brother, indulge me. This is when we are all getting it wrong. When a party wins power, the president has over 10,000 appointments to make. The president has over 10,000 appointments to make. At the end of the day, the people that voted for the president are more than 10,000. So how do they benefit? Their benefits, right, are in the decisions and programs and policies of the government. So at every given time, we need to scrutinize the programs and decisions of the government, whether or not we serve the national interest. We don't have to look at the past. At any given time, let's judge it. Let's judge the decisions by the promises that were made.
Very well.
Is this the reset that was made?
Okay.
If that was the reset, then it's a vindictive one. Look, in 2001, when President Kufuor became president, he had every right to say that we are going to go after the military men in the PMDC who had, beaten people, abused people's rights. But he said, let's do national reconciliation. That is how a country is built.
Very well.
The country will become prosperous.
Okay.
And not what's going on.
Thank you. Thank you so much for speaking to us.
Welcome.
That's Honorable Nana Ejeba Foiwa. He is MP Member of Parliament for Menchia South. Let me speak to Professor Kojo PhD Tua. He's with the School of Law, the Faculty of the Law of the University of Ghana. You're welcome to Eyewitness News, Prof.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So there are two sides of the argument. One side argues that there was a plan to remove a Chief Justice, which plan has been executed. The other part says no, we simply went through the Constitution. From where you sit as an academic, the constitutional process, would you say it has been duly followed and properly so?
I will say that the constitutional process was duly followed from the time the petition was received, consultation with the Council of State, the setting up of the committee, the decision made by the committee today, the announcement by the president. I think all followed constitutional due process, if I can say.
Okay. Now, but when it comes to the process, one of your colleagues, I mean, when I say colleagues in the legal profession, the former Deputy AG Kwenka has said to me earlier that you can follow the Constitution but follow it with mischief, and he believes that that's what has happened this time around. And so the Constitution is simply being used to execute a political agenda. I know you are not a political person, at least that's not what you're speaking to you about legal issues. The two issues that are being put out there now, how would you deal with it if you were?
Show the independence of the judiciary. I think that is where, in my opinion, it falls short. Justice of the Superior Court. But this is the highest office of the judiciary, and the office should be properly put in place, the necessary structures and strictures put in there to ensure that it's not taken advantage of by any government.
But we seem to lose sight of the fact that the first test of a case like this is to go to the Council of State, which is by law supposed to be an independent constitutional creation, which is supposed to be bipartisan by all standards under the provisions that sets it up. Should we not be satisfied that such a council can do a thorough job, and that if that council makes a recommendation, it is a truly bipartisan and unbiased council, and to the extent that it does so, we should trust that it is a neutral process?
Well, I mean, definitely the Council of States is a respected institution, guaranteed and provided in the Constitution. But its independence has been questioned in a number of situations. Moreover, it doesn't, I wouldn't say it has all the competence to deal with judicial cases of this nature and magnitude. And in some jurisdictions, they have a judicial council or committee that is rather given such powers is to ensure that members of such council or committee will be people of proven competence in the judiciary or in the with experience as a bar and so on, who can really make a determination that cannot be faulted. So while I don't doubt the integrity of the Council of States, the fact that its independence has been questioned, and it seems to, even when the decision that the president doesn't like, he's not bound by it and so on. They have been called for the removal of the Council of State from the Constitution, and so I will not place much power or much weight on what the Council of State or what they did in the process, which therefore can say that it makes the process fair to the extent that one would expect from to determine the removal of the justice of the private chief justice from her position.
There's an artwork that is in circulation. In fact, someone has just sent it to me, referencing you, done by Joy News, in which you are quoted as saying that Gertrude Tokono's removal as CJ doesn't affect her position as a Supreme Court justice. She has a right to return. Did you say that?
Yes. Yes.
Under what authority, sir?
Well, I think if you go back to 146, it references the process for removal of the justice of the Superior Court and then the process for removal of the Chief Justice. The one that was triggered was with respect to the office of the Chief Justice. Before she was a Chief Justice, she was a Justice of the Supreme Court. And so if she is removed from the office of the Chief Justice, I think automatically she falls to the next tier, which is as a Justice of the Supreme Court. So that is a process which was not in play or at play in the case that was brought before her, for which the committee was set up. So long as the allegations leveled against her, which led to a dismissal, is not connected to her office as a justice of the Supreme Court. My argument is that it should be limited to the case of the justice of the Chief Justice, and therefore, if she loses that position as Chief Justice, the next tier that she falls into is as a Justice of the Supreme Court. So that's where she belongs to now.
So you are in essence saying that she can go to the Supreme Court tomorrow and ask the man who used to be her junior to empanel her on a case, and then she can sit on that case. And that person who is the acting CJ now can actually assign her, for instance, to go and play other roles as, quote and unquote, a common justice of the Court of Appeal, and not a Supreme Court, not a Supreme Court justice, and not the Chief Justice.
Well, I don't know what you mean by a senior, because as you know, the president appointing a Chief Justice is not based on seniority. But if you're talking about senior as the fact that she became the Chief Justice, then that's a different thing. But it may be that there are other justices in terms of age, which, in terms of years at the bar, on the bench, she might be
a junior.
Yeah. So, but having said that, I think that this is a game of when you win the position, whether, for example, if you're a Minister of State or your president, you want to stand as a Minister of State, it's allowed. But it's a question of, so you can see that theoretically speaking, that is the case. But in reality, whether she herself would want to take that position, considering some of the scenarios you are raising, will be a different ballgame. But it may also be that the president can decide to retire her on a package that will ensure that she doesn't go back to the bench as a justice of the Supreme Court. That may be another thing. But I think that it's in her right if she wants to go back and sit as a justice of the Supreme Court. I think she can do that. Yes.
A law lecturer has sent me a message that he wants me to read to you. He said I should ask you, if a court of appeal justice is removed from his conduct, can that judge go back to his former high court position if he was appointed from the high court to court of appeal?
I think the procedure is a little bit different. So in that case, I don't think that the person can go back to the high court. But just because this is a Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court is where we pick the Chief Justice from. So before she was Chief Justice, she was a member of the, she was a Justice of the Supreme Court. So I think that is where I'm coming from.
Very well. Thank you so much for your views.
My pleasure.
That's Professor Aquetia, PhD Aquetia. He is with the Faculty of Law at the University of Ghana. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM.
Police have arrested Newton Alote, a key suspect in the Omanjo Homowo violence which left 3 people dead and injured several others. According to police sources, Newton Alote, who was allegedly part of the armed gang that stormed the Omanjo Chief's Palace, had been hiding in Dansoman. Acting swiftly on a tip-off, 4 tactical teams from the Special Support Units launched a coordinated operation this afternoon at Dansoman last stop. A search conducted at the scene led to the recovery of 18 spent BB cartridges believed to be in connection with the Homowo attack. Authorities have confirmed that the suspect is currently in custody and assisting with ongoing investigations. Meanwhile, 1 person has been arrested in connection with the incident. The Ghana Central Municipal Assembly has imposed a temporary ban on all public gatherings related to the Homowo celebration in Anya and Sotom following violent clashes during the festival on Saturday, August 30. The unrest left 3 people dead and several others injured. Municipal Chief Executive Emmanuel Alete has assured residents that police will maintain security.
On hold. No activity, whether the celebration was halfway through or fully done. We don't care about that for now because whatever we put in place, we have violated. And when we sit and have a discussion and you violate the principles or the policies you put in place, you don't have any room to call for. So no activity is supposed to take place. Everybody must be indoor. Of course, those who are going to work this morning, going to school this morning, going to market can go. Police will ensure the place is safe and back. In terms of sexual activities or whatever, any gathering will not be tolerated, until we have been able to put everything under control. No gathering, no occasion. I want to take this opportunity to give them full assurance that the police, they have been rightful placed to handle this situation. The police is under full control. So nobody should desert the area, pass your things and this area. No. We'll make sure there will be peace, law and order in that area too.
He also indicated that additional police personnel will be deployed to the affected areas equipped with the necessary resources to prevent further violence and restore peace.
Regional Police Command associated more men on the ground with the right ammunition to forestall anything that may happen. We know once the Sotom chief, that Ni Ofori Osabu son, has been killed, the Asabo boys will also like to retaliate. So we have put in the right measures in terms of police. I am on my way after my meeting to also commensurate or to console the chief, that's a new police chief of Sotom. And behind the scenes, I will also talk to him to call the boys to order. They cannot empty do the same thing. Based on our phone conversation, I told him to do the same thing after the meeting. He should call the chief to one place and then advise to make sure their boys will not also go on the street too. Also, but in terms of the work of the police, we have more police, more of the men on the ground, and the place is calm as we speak.
Emmanuel Alote is Ghana Central Municipal Chief Executive. Away from that, Savannah Regional Minister Salisu B. Awuribe has assured that engagements between the feuding factions are progressing smoothly, with the chiefs of the factions actively involved. Over the weekend, President Mahama deployed an Interior Ministry-led delegation headed by Muntaka Mohamed Mubarak to meet the Yagbonra and other stakeholders to find a lasting solution to the conflict. In an interview with Citi News, the minister expressed confidence that the discussions would soon bring finality to the matter.
In fact, I can say that the presence of the high-powered delegation of His Excellency the President has tremendously helped in curbing any possible situation that we'll have on our hand. The information which got to us, and Rexec went and confirmed it from the King's Palace, the Yebonra, was that he wanted to take a step yesterday or today to the scene of the disturbance. That's Beningiri, Jinavo to be precise. And by virtue of His Excellency intervening and getting this team to come and talk to the king, who have been talking about the different story altogether, this I can say that, look, it has helped us a lot, and we are grateful and thankful for the intervention by the President and the high-powered delegation who came and spoke with the Yebonga.
The Savannah Regional Minister also noted that efforts are ongoing to provide shelter for displaced residents, including arrangements for temporary accommodation in Côte d'Ivoire.
We have got adequate canopies. A lot of food items were also brought, and our people are cooking for them on site at the various places to which they are displaced. We even went to Banco in the Côte d'Ivoire to be able to give some food supplies to them. As we speak, tomorrow, God willing, I'm going to meet the president of the Bonkani region, that's like a regional minister in the Bonkani region in Côte d'Ivoire, and his prefect, like a DC, also in Bona, and we will all look at how we can make the accommodation of the people who are temporarily displaced and they are in the Côte d'Ivoire section better. Thankfully, we have identified a place in Côte d'Ivoire that they can be housed and guided under tight security by both the Ivorian people and our people, not in Ivory Coast, but on the Ghana border.
Salisu B. Awuribe is Savannah Regional Minister.
Detailed news, unparalleled coverage. Citi News on 97.3 FM.
It's your day off and you end up looking after the baby while your wife goes off to work. You realize you have no idea how to change a diaper. So you video call your wife.
Hello, darling.
Hello.
Kojo, is everything all right?
Everything is all right. I'm not seeing Topo. How do I change a baby's diaper, please?
Kojo. Okay, first, put the diaper.
The video call freezes. While you wait for the internet to catch up, the baby sprouts a fountain and wets the diaper. As you are getting a new one, your wife comes back online.
Kojo, no!
But I have to go and get a new diaper. What must I do next? I beg, quick.
Open the front of the diaper. It's the side that has...
Wow, look, the video freezes again. Abba.
By now, you know where the conversation is going. There's no buffering in real life, so why accept it from your internet connection? Get connected and experience ultra-fast internet to your home, powered by MTN Fiber Broadband. From the Internet Masters. MTN, everywhere you go.
Like a fiesta on my side. I'm all wrapped up. And all I think about is my pay. I get classic, I get bloody, I get stronger, also fruity. Of course, all not to take me longer. Skin to skin, no. All I need is my extra pain. Doing so big, so goes on the glow up. And keep the vibe 100 with no party plans. Fiesta, wrap it up.
Wrap it up with Fiesta condoms. Comes in 9 different variants to spice up your game. Available in any pharmacy near you.
Prevents STIs and unintended pregnancy when used correctly.
This advert is FDA approved.
We're trendy and youthful. We're UBA. We're here to make your life better, stress-free and easy. We go the extra mile, beyond your expectations. We will get it done and get it done very well now. UBA, best loans and more. UBA, best customer satisfaction. UBA, best digital solutions. UBA, Africa's global bank.
For best
retail products, innovative offerings, loans made just for you, attractive interest rates, trading across Africa or sending money. If you want the best digital banking products, including chatting with you on WhatsApp and Facebook, turn to UBA, Africa's global bank.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Get the details. Every significant financial transaction, every market movement, and all the policies that affect your business. Citi Business News. Be informed.
Time now for Citi Business News on Eyewitness News. I am Ejubi Uyafe Akente. Let's settle for the details. Ghana remains the fifth most indebted African country to the International Monetary Fund as of August 2025. According to latest IMF data, the country's outstanding credit score stood at 2.7 billion in the IMF's reserve currency known as Special Drowning Rights SDR. Egypt topped the list with 7.18 billion SDRs, followed by Cote d'Ivoire at 3.10 billion and Kenya at 3.02 billion. DR Congo, Ethiopia, Tanzania, Cameroon, and Zambia made up the rest of the top 10. The figures underscore Ghana's continued reliance on IMF financing, even as debt sustainability pressures remain a central focus on economic policy and fiscal consolidation efforts. 3 state-owned enterprises have paid dividends to government for the first time in decades. Ghana Reassurance, TDC Company, and the State Housing Company together contributed almost 30 million cedis in 2024. The State Housing Company notably paid dividends for the first time in 30 years. Daniel Dromensa has more in the following Business Desk report.
The wider SOE sector also saw strong growth. Revenues went up by more than 28%, reaching about 134 billion cedis in 2024 compared to 104 billion cedis in 2023. The energy sector grew by nearly 40%, while financial services jumped close to 50%. Meanwhile, state-owned joint venture companies bounced back strongly in 2024. They moved from a loss of 1.3 billion cedis in 2023 to a net profit of 1.5 billion cedis last year, a growth of more than 213%. The assets also grew by nearly 40%, reaching about 72 billion cedis. In addition, state-owned enterprises overall recorded a massive net profit of 24.9 billion cedis in 2024, far higher than the 1.6 billion cedis in 2023.
Daniel Odro-Mensah filed that Business Desk report. Now, trade unions across Africa are urging the African Continental Free Trade Area AFCFTA Secretariat to adopt a robust labor protocol that will guarantee the protection and participation of workers in the continent's largest trade pact. Union leaders argue that while the AFCFTA represents a powerful tool for accelerating Africa's economic growth and integration, its success hinges on ensuring that workers' voices and welfare are not sidelined in the process. Speaking to Citi Business News, the General Secretary of the African Regional Organization of the International Trade Union Confederation, Joel Odiji, stressed that meaningful dialogue with labor groups is critical to achieving inclusive trade that balances corporate interests with social protection.
Our government must understand that when you talk about trade, it's about workers contributing to production. It's about workers making services available. So goods and services, workers are at the heart of it. So you cannot do this process effectively without including workers. We are saying embrace our input. We want to contribute. And we are saying we want to propel it to the next level. And we are saying this on account our government should embrace social dialogue. Get other critical partners to be involved in this process. Our government, under the AFTA, there is what we call the National Implementation Committee. For every country is expected to set this up. We call on our government to invite trade unions to join because we have ideas and we have the voice, we have the membership. We want to put all of these at the disposal of our government and of our trade secretariat at the capital level to advance trade. More importantly, we are saying to them, let's have mechanisms that protect workers. A labor protocol in the AFTA is very important.
That was the General Secretary of the African Regional Organization of International Trade Union Confederation, Joel Odigi. Preparations are underway for what is expected to be Ghana's largest showcase of locally made products and services. The This is Ghana exhibition makes its return on September 6 to 7, 2025 at the Afua Sutherland Children's Park in Accra. Organized by Channel 1 TV and Citi FM, this year's edition is billed as the biggest yet, featuring an expanded display of homegrown goods, innovations, and services. Head of Events and Partnerships at Channel 1 TV and Citi FM, Frema Edunyame, says excitement is building as preparations intensify for the September event.
Currently, all the slots for registration are gone. We can't take on any registration. We have just a little bit of room for those who are yet to make the final payment, that those who have registered and are finishing their payment. So this should tell you that we are very ready. We are just counting down to Saturday and Sunday, that's the 6th and 7th of September. In terms of the venue, we are very ready. We visited for some time, to make sure that the grounds are ready, to make sure that everything is set. This year, we have changed the venue, so that even comes with a much improved, shopping experience and exhibition experience. So for exhibitors, you have more room to, put out your stuff. For those of us who are going to be looking at what has been exhibited and also to shop, we also have more space, not too crowded, not too tight, so more room for a comfortable shopping experience.
Frema Edunyame is Head of Events and Partnerships at Channel 1 TV and Citi FM. Players in Ghana's sustainability sector are calling for stricter enforcement within the extractive industry to ensure full compliance with environmental, social, and governance standards. At the Maiden Global ESG and Sustainability Reporting Summit organized by TSL Sustainability, Chief Executive Dr. Shelter Lochu stressed that punitive action against companies that breach ESG requirements is essential to advancing a green economy.
Frameworks such as the Global Reporting Initiative, frameworks such as the Sustainability Accounting Standards Board, and other frameworks that enjoin companies in Europe, in America, in Asia, to report what exactly they do with their environment. How are they protecting water bodies? How are they impacting society in terms of talent development, reduction of poverty? Those are the issues at the bottom or the heart of ESG and sustainability reporting. And we at TSS Sustainability think it is about time that we insist our government to make it mandatory for these companies to engage with the local authorities and governments to make it mandatory for companies to report ESG and sustainability.
You heard Chief Executive of TSL Sustainability, Dr. Shelter Lochu. And that's it for Citi News, Citi Business News on Eyewitness News. I am Ijubi Wiafe Akente. Up next is Point Blank.
Detailed news, unparalleled coverage. Citi News on 97.3 FM.
Oh, jump on now. Go. Ugomi, and what time when you come back, we are not hear the sound of your car. Why you buy new car? No, I not change my car. It be the same ride. It be the fuel way I change. Way one shouts it. Ever since I started using the all-new Excellium Premium Fuel, fortified with 3-in-1 action. Oh, Joe, now my car they run like electric car. No, so this is the type of fuel where they want to. Because now engine they cost. Where they want for way if I buy it, it will protect my engine. And with the small way I buy, I will drive Absolutely. It's like strapping a turbocharger to your engine and giving it a protector. And what they bust my mind says, be the 3-in-1 action. Excellium they prevent up to 99% of deposit. It be anti-wear, some be anti-corrosion. One pair way now there. So where can I find this magical fuel? Just head over to any Total Energy service station and your car will thank you. Hey, they make a finish Magobe fast, then rush go Total Energies. My friend, but why you have the Magobe inside? I give you info. Make a flow the Gobe too small. Go. And Excellium is designed to protect your car engine, decrease fuel consumption, and lower CO2 emissions. Don't say fuel, say Excellium. Choose Excellium, choose quality.
This year is going to be sweet. I don't just feel it, I know it, because the Lucky Season 3 is back.
and I'm about to show you how to grab your golden ticket. Just dial *712# and follow the prompts to purchase your ticket, or go to the luckiestafrica.com, hit community tickets, and pick your lucky number.
And let the system do its magic. Choose how much you want to spend from 1 to 5,000 Ghana cedis. You can even buy a ticket for someone else. Be someone's hero. Payment? Easy. Mobile money in Ghana or card if you're international.
One ticket can turn 1 cedi into 500 times more. That's much we love. Or your community will win 10 times more. So let's get lucky together, because luck is everywhere.
Play responsibly, not for persons under 18 years. This promotion is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas platform.
Are you feeling tired after a hard day's work? Have you lost your appetite even for your favorite dish? Viral Blood Tonic is a nutritionally balanced, pleasant-tasting tonic fortified with iron and vitamins to boost your appetite and energy levels for high performance. Viral Blood Tonic, easy to take and good for the family. Viral from Damex Iting Starwin PLC. If symptoms persist after 48 hours, consult a physician. This advert is FDA approved.
Nothing! Ghana's first unlimited photocopier leasing. Yes, from just 983 Ghana cedis, you can lease a multifunctional photocopier and print unlimited. Yes, unlimited and free paper every month. Guess what? That's not all. Toners, repairs, and maintenance all are free. And oh, I'm not kidding at all. And we cover the whole country. Yes, the whole country. What the way now again? What are you waiting for? Just visit us at www.valexlease.com or call 0244 644048. I repeat, or call 0244-644048. Remember, terms and conditions apply. Valix Lease, affordable document management solutions.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
This is Point Blank on Eyewitness News. I am Umaru Sandamadi. Tonight on Point Blank, we'll go to Aquetia. Now, Point Blank is brought to you by Valix Lease Equipment Limited. Valix Lease, affordable document management solutions. The people of Aquetia go to the polls tomorrow to vote a member of parliament in a by-election. On 97.3 Citi FM, of course, trust us to bring you the best coverage ever. We've deployed a team to the constituency to follow every ballot. Let me touch base with one of my colleagues there, Sami Wiafi. Sami, you're welcome to Point Blank on Eyewitness News. Where in Aquetia are you based, and what is the picture looking like, or what is the atmosphere in Aquetia like?
Hi, Umaru. Good evening. Thank you very much. In Aquetia, as we speak, the situation, I'll give you on threefold: the political atmosphere, the security setup, and the influence in town. So, in the political atmosphere, the two political parties are very enthused about what's going to happen tomorrow. A bit of confidence among the two political parties, especially the two leading political parties, the MPP and the NDC. Their candidates are, being with the confidence of a possible victory for any of them ahead of the elections tomorrow. On the side of the MPP, they are confident that the seat is already an MPP seat. And so they will do everything within their power to maintain it, and also court the sympathy of party faithful and residents of Aquetia to vote for the MPP candidate, and also to honor the of Parliament for the area. The reason why there's this by-election in the constituency. So for them, they've campaigned enough. They say that electing an MPP member of Parliament will continue with the development project started under the previous member of Parliament who died a few months ago. And so it will be a continuation of the good works of the late member of Parliament. A change in that will disrupt development within the Aquetia constituency. And so for the MPP, a vote for the party will mean, first of all, honoring the memory of the late member of Parliament, and also continuation of the good policies and programs of the late MP as he started before his demise. I've been engaging the Eastern Regional Chairman, Jeff Kunodu, who says there's no way the MPP can lose this particular seat. I asked him about the recent post by the Global Info Analytics, and he said even though they don't disregard the post by Mr. Dankwa and his group, they have a different opinion, and the opinion they hold is that the MPP is winning. When I asked him further about the margin, he was unable to tell, but all he could tell me was that the party was going to win, and they were going to win hands down. On the part of the NDC, they say that already the seat was won by the party, and it was an issue that happened, and then Esconi was declared a winner. And so this by-election has come for them to know that indeed the seat was an MPP, it was an NDC seat, but then just a few misunderstanding or disruption caused the MPP to take the seat away from them. And so this by-election will signify, will show that indeed they won the seat, and the seat must be given back to the NDC after they claimed they won it in the 2024 general election. The campaign message of the NDC in the constituency is that a vote for the NDC candidate, Bernard Bediako, will mean development within the constituency, because President John Dramani Mahama will need a development agent, and that agent will be Bernard Bediako. And so getting Bernard Bediako on the ballot and getting the people to elect him as a member of Parliament will accelerate development within the Aquetia constituency. And so the NDC and the people in Aquetia should not make the mistake of electing the MPP, but rather electing the NDC the seat, or to become the new member of Parliament for the area. Senior members of the party have been in the constituency to campaign. The chief of staff has been here, the national chairman, key figures within the party have been on the ground to campaign for their candidates to ensure that victory is there. So that is the political side. On the security side, the Inspector General of Police has been in town. I had a briefing with the regional commanders or the regional security setup, who have been detailed to ensure an incident-free election come tomorrow. As you are
Sami, can you hear me?
Woman.
Sami. Okay, we lost Sami Biafi there. He's one of the men we've deployed to the Aquetia constituency to report for us on the by-election scheduled for tomorrow. Let me go back to Sami Biafi, who was reporting for us from Aquetia. We lost him briefly. Sami, when you started speaking to us about the security or the aspect of security based on your observations, we lost you. If you could just restate again.
For security, every corner you pass within the constituency, you see the men in black. Every corner, every street, checkpoints, almost every 100 meter, you see police checkpoints, searching people and searching vehicles
the IGP has given a clear instruction that this particular by-election should be incident-free. And so the charge for the officers on the ground is that ensure that this directive from the IGP is followed to the end, to the detail. And so security checkpoints are mounted in major parts of the town. If you are entering Aquetia constituency, you need quite a number of checkpoints where security personnel, especially the Ghana Police Service, will ask you your mission and a few questions before you are given access to the main town. Even within the main town, you will see them mounting checkpoints as well and interrogating people to and fro within the constituency. The IGP has, as you heard, said that he deployed over 5,500 men to ensure a tight security. We are told that in every polling station, 5 police officers will be deployed to ensure free and fair election and environment free as well. And so that is the security aspect of it. The police are not leaving anything to chance. They say that they've asked the military to be on standby. In an instant where they are able to control a situation, they may call the military to intervene. The IGP himself is in touch with other senior security officers. We've seen Mr. Richard Japa, the Director of Special Operations at the National Security, also present within the constituency. We saw him with the IGP exchanging some few ideas on how to ensure that this election tomorrow is free and fair. On the side of the euphoria, the constituents are eager to vote. They are eager to vote for their next member of parliament. They are eager to know who their next representation in parliament will be. They are eager to see them put their thumbs on the ballot paper come tomorrow. And for them, they are just waiting that tomorrow, God willing, they'll be able to know who their next member of parliament is, someone who speaks for them in the chamber, and someone who will be an agent of development within the constituency. So there has been a general outlook within the Aquetia constituency since we arrived here in the morning. Security is tight. As I mentioned earlier, the Ghana Police Service is not leaving anything to chance. And so they may want to follow to details every directive given to them by the Inspector General of Police, who himself is on the ground as we speak.
Okay, what's been the reaction of the constituents to the deployment of the police? Do they feel it's intimidating, or they feel it is in their interest to protect them? Sammy? Sammy, can you hear me? Hello, Sammy? The line is a bit dodgy. Can you try to say that again? I'm afraid we are having difficulties reaching Sammy Wiafi. We'll try to reconnect with him. This is Eyewitness News, this segment known as Point Blank. My name is Omar Sandamado. We are touching base with Aquetia. Let's hear from the Electoral Commission. John Apia Bafo is the Eastern Regional Director of the Electoral Commission.
The commission is ready. We've gotten all the material that we need for the elections. The ballot papers, we have received them, we've packaged them. The BVDs, the registers, and all other materials are ready now. So we are ready for tomorrow early in the morning. Then we do the distribution so that the election will commence as early as 7 a.m. as it is in the law. So we are ready. When it comes to our election officials, we have recruited 484 election officials. They are the returning officers, deputy returning officers, presiding officers, technicians, name reference list officers, verification officers, and ballot issuers. We've sent all of them to classroom and we've trained them on the electoral process. They are do's and don'ts. So I would say that they are also ready. So the commission is ready for tomorrow's election. So
that's John Apia Bafo. He is Eastern Regional Director of the Electoral Commission. Let's go to another part of the constituency and speak to Fauzu Masaudu. Fauzu, which parts of Aquetia have you been to today? What did you observe?
I've been to Aquetia, the Aquetia township itself, and my business there essentially was to assess the mood generally, the level of anticipation and what have you. And Mario, I can confirm to you that the constituents are upbeat about tomorrow's exercise. They've been crackling in anticipation, given how crucial tomorrow's by-election is. I also sought from them whether or not the messages from the various political parties have indeed resonated with them, and many of them alluded to it. We know that the New Patriotic Party is capitalizing on the candidature of their candidate, which is Solomon Kwame Asumadu. He's been touted to be a people's person, very relatable, and on his own, he's championed certain socio-economic, development initiatives within the constituency. All the NDC is also banking their hopes on incumbency. We see that President John Dramani Mahama has so far performed incredibly well, and so it's only right for a candidate on the ticket of the NDC to be elected, just so there'll be continuity in whatever the president is doing within the constituency. But then we know that right from the initial stages of the whole by-election process, one thing that has sparked conversation as regards the campaign has been the NPP's strategy of capitalizing on the sympathy, characterizing downtown demise of the incumbent, the lead member of parliament, that's the next committee, and that seems to be working really well for the party, because from the interaction that I had, some of them have actually mentioned that yes, indeed, and they are going to vote for the New Patriotic Party in honor of the passing of the Member of Parliament, that's the next committee. But the NDC is also arguing that sympathy is just not enough to create the, so to speak, the magic the constituency needs at this level. So really that has been the general atmosphere within the Aquetia township itself. And for security arrangements, I mean, it's an open book. We know that the Ghana Police Service has deployed over 5,000 men and women to man affairs as regards security, and that is a common theme in the Aquetia township. I mean, from any entry point, and even some identified hotspots within the towns have heavy security presence in there. Policemen and women are conducting thorough searches. They are interrogating persons.
Apologies, we lost Fauzu Masaudu as well. Earlier we were speaking to Sami Wiafe. The network appears to be a bit funny tonight. Let's hear now from the same Eastern Regional Director of Elections. Aside talking about their readiness, he commented on the security deployment by the police and cautioned party supporters to be guided tomorrow when they go out to vote. Listen to him.
Come out in their numbers to vote. Once they are registered voters, it is because of them that we are here. So they should come out in their numbers to vote. They should not be afraid. The security people here are here to protect them. So they should not be afraid. They should come out in their numbers. And then those coming from outside, it is Aquetia people who are voting. So they should come and misbehave. They should not come and create any chaotic scene, but they should, respect the rules, the laws governing the election, so that at the end, all of us will have successful.
That's the Eastern Regional Director of the Electoral Commission, John Apia Bafo. Over the weekend, the two parties did their final events to climax the campaign before Tuesday. Neonia Mate Kanakwe is our Eastern Regional Correspondent.
On Sunday, the police service staged a show of force along the principal street of Buedia and Aquetia ahead of the September 2 by-election. ACP Grace Akrofi explained that the deployment of 5,500 officers will cover all 119 polling stations across the constituency 21 electoral areas, which have been divided into 9 security zones to ensure maximum safety.
The Ghana Police Service has deployed massively to Aquetia, and our objective is to ensure that the election proceeds smoothly and we have a peaceful by-election. We are here to ensure the security of every person in Aquetia, including every person who will go out on the election day to vote. Once again, we want to assure you that if you see our men in town, just remember that we are here because of you. We are here because of your safety. We are here because of your security. As our Director General of Operations informed you the other day, our men are on the ground. Adequate vehicles have been deployed. Our mobile patrol teams are on. The Black Maria is also available. That is our mobile cells. We are here.
Meanwhile, Member of Parliament for Ningo Pram and Minister for Communications, Digital Technology and Innovation, Samuel Nate George, has described the upcoming by-election as a humiliating embarrassment for the opposition New Patriotic Party NPP.
So that's a wrap-up of events by Neonia Matu Kanokwa, Eastern Region correspondent. That's by way of Eyewitness News tonight. It came to you from our studios in Accra. I am Umaru Sandamado. I did this with Jubi Wiafia Kintin. Production by Beverly London and Kwabena Wilson. Desmond Nyako helped us with the technical side, and Iman Osu and his team at the New Media helped us with our social media presence. We'll be back tomorrow at 17:30 GMT. Thank you for listening. Up next is Footprint with Samuel Atamensa.